Hey, it's Joe here, and I've just got a quick spoiler warning for Ocean Girl and the book Storm of Swords. Also, Game of Thrones Season 3, if you didn't bother to read the books, which you should, because they're much better, go and do that. Hello, and welcome to Tales from the Twists, a show where we like to talk about Round the Twist, an 80s and 90s television show from Australia. My name is Joe Lewis, and I'm joined today, as always, by my co-host, Anthonius Bolonius.
Hello, Joseph Lewisius Joe.
Yeah, you flubbed that one, didn't
Well,
you?
I don't know. You're not bloody Roman, are you? You're like
I
English
could
or
be
something.
Roman.
I don't know.
Josephus
You're like Josephus Luinius or something.
Linguinius?
I don't know.
That's Italian, right? That's kind of Roman.
Hey, Josephus Luinius.
Linguinius. Tortellanius.
Tortellanius. Peneus.
What's your favourite pasta?
Please
Please don't say spaghetti.
No, that's like, hello, introductory pasta. Hello, my name is Spaghetti.
It's a gateway pasta, really, isn't it?
Like, it's hard to say because ravioli is pretty good, right?
Ravioli is pretty good, yes.
Because it's like, it's got the meat within the packet, so it's like, it's what you want.
Yeah. Just add sauce.
But as far as I'm concerned, like, I don't want to say ravioli because it's not a pasta. As far as I'm concerned, it's something else.
It's pasta.
Like, if let's say you went to go get something like a spaghetti bolognese or something like that, some sort of pasta dish, and they give you an option of pastas.
Yeah.
You never get the option of ravioli, like, which is shit.
Or tortellini, which is similar.
Yeah, so what you'll get is like, I don't know, penne or spiral. In fact, my favorite is spiral. It's just
spiral.
It's easy to eat.
I'm sure that's not its technical name.
I don't know. It's called. It's basically like the spiral ones. It's kind of like penne, except it's not like hollow in the inside. It's just a spiral pizza. It pasta. It's the kind of stuff you get at Sizzlers.
I prefer fettuccine. Fettuccine is my favourite.
Fettuccine's too flat.
It's the udon of Italian pasta.
Udon, eh?
Udon's the fat Japanese noodle.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, it is. Don't guess. No.
I know
Today on Tales from the Twists, we're going to be talking about an episode called Next Time Around, which is Season 2, Episode 1.
Yeah.
Congratulations. We made it
on Episode 2.
We made it to the second
Episode
season.
1.
We did it. Finally.
Yay. Season 2.
Yeah. Hooray. Yeah. But my enthusiasm ends here.
This podcast is cancelled.
Why is our podcast cancelled, Anthony?
We started watching it and we're like, I like it. Everything's new. And it's not just that, everything's shit. It's just bad. As we're watching it, we're like, this is painful to watch. This is like, and we have to do more of this. This is gonna be hard. Like the first season, it's pretty good. It's good. I liked it. I was watching halfway through and I'm like, oh my god, just stop, please. And they replaced like some of your favorite characters. And you're like, no, just cut it out. The only reason I had interest in this episode was that I was able to further develop my Nell theory. Okay, that's the only reason.
Long-time listeners of the podcast will know that we've struggled with some of the episodes from Season 1.
Yeah, like
Birdsdoe.
This is much worse than Birdsdoe.
The worst episode I had ever seen up to this point, in which we see Next Time Around, which was abysmal. It was like I wasn't even watching Around the Twist. It was like a whole new show had come in and taken over.
It was like Ocean Girl or some shit.
Ocean Girl is good though.
I didn't watch Ocean Girl. It was about a girl in the ocean.
Ocean Girl is great.
I never watched it because it was about a girl in the ocean. I thought, well, I'm no interested in learning why she's in the ocean. Why is she not on land?
She's an alien. Spoilers. She comes from like a different planet.
That's full of water or something?
Yeah, they're like ocean people and they swim around in the ocean.
Well, I've no interest in learning about that.
One day we'll do something on Ocean Girl.
I'm not doing fucking Ocean Girl.
Yes, we'll do Ocean Girl at some point.
Ocean Girl. It's just it's a girl in the ocean. She swims. It's like Aquaman is the worst character, or worst superhero. Why do I want to watch the worst superhero movie as a TV show?
But it was actually entertaining.
If it was called Land Girl or Jungle Girl, yeah, okay. She's in
Jungle
the jungle.
Girl.
She's fighting bloody snakes or some shit.
What's interesting about that?
She's fighting snakes, or she's fighting tigers or something, you know. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
and,
but
like, I don't know, there's like deforestation crews trying to come and knock down the jungle.
Yeah, but they had all of those issues as well, like clearing the reef and looking after the whales.
Oh yeah, it's about fucking like the fish, man. Jeez.
Australians care about.
Oh, fucking okay.
We're an island nation, bro.
Yeah. I know, that's why, like, whatever, man, screw it.
Alright.
Fucking don't like oceans. Like, it's dumb. That's why I didn't watch Sea Lab, or that other show, like, as I said, Underwater.
Sea Lab 2025.
Yeah, that one. I didn't watch that.
What it was called?
I don't know. It was good, though, apparently.
I guess.
Watched it.
Next time around, the episode we're looking at today, some kind of abomination.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's interesting to note, we've talked about this a little bit in the past, the first season of Around the Twist was made in 1989, with the original cast and crew. This season was made a couple of years later, 92, I think. Maybe 91. I haven't got my facts straight because I didn't do my homework because I'm a terrible human being. But at some point in around that time, they decided to make a second season. So they kept the actors and actresses that played Tony, Nell, Snapper, and Faye.
Yep.
But they replaced basically everyone else. So we have a new cast of Twist children. New Pete, Linda Bronson. We have new Gribbles. Gribble, Rabbit, Tiger. Mr. and Mrs. Gribble are different.
Ugh.
They're basically all the ones that count, right?
Yeah, all the ones, yeah, pretty much. Everyone else is probably different. It's like, who cares about them?
Yeah. The other characters you didn't really have much interaction with anyway. So, the other key one was Fiona.
Yes, well, Fiona was
Which,
a big one. Like,
in the first season, she is your traditional girl next door character.
she's a white girl, and you're like, oh, okay, everyone's normal. And then you see this, and then Fiona in season 2, she's an Aboriginal girl. Because completely different, you're like, until she says, oh, hi, and then someone references Fiona, you're like, wait, what? That's Fiona? It's like in Charlie's Angels, the movie, right?
Yes.
I think, is it Charlie's Angels, the movie that Bosley is, Bosley is, I can't remember it's the black actor who died. I can't remember his name. Cedric the Entertainer? Is it Cedric the Entertainer?
No.
I want to say it's Cedric the Entertainer. I don't think it is.
It's not Cedric the
Whatever.
Entertainer. It's the other guy.
That guy, right?
The guy that was in Oceans.
He plays, I think he plays it in in the Oceans guy. He plays one of the Bosleys, but I think Bill Murray played Bosley in the other film.
Oh.
I think Bill Murray played it first.
Oh.
So then when you go to the second film, they was like, oh, hey, Bosley. I've seen very little of it. And you're like, it's not fucking Bosley? What the hell? What?
Are you racist, Anthony? Is this why that you...
It's just like,
object
when
to
you
the
change
race
characters, it's like, you have to immediately tell them, by the way, this is the new character. Alright? Otherwise it's like, you'll be thinking, oh yeah, no worries, blah, 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 da, da, da. That's not Bosley. That's not Bosley. It's like, what if I got a haircut or something?
Yes.
No, better still. What if, bloody, I don't know, a 6 foot tall bloody Icelandic giant took my place and said, hi, I'm Anthony.
I'd be like,
You'd be
I
like,
see
you're
no
not
difference.
Anthony, and then it might be, but you'd be a little weirded out. You'd be like, what the fuck, Anthony?
A 6 foot tall Icelandic giant.
Yeah, like the guy from Game of Thrones, the Mountain,
The Mountain.
replaced me.
He's taller than 6 foot. Isn't he like 8 or 10?
Huge, he's giant apparently. I saw a Vice doco on it. It's pretty
That's
cool.
interesting as well, because didn't he replace another guy that was playing the Mountain?
Did he?
Yeah. There
don't
was
know.
another guy that was playing him in like the first season and then the swap.
Yeah, he did. I think so.
There's a lot of swapsies in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, for the minor characters, no one cares about.
What?
No one
No
cared
one
about-
cares about the Mountain.
No one cared about the Mountain.
Everyone cares about the Mountain.
No one cared about him in season 1.
Yeah, sure they did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, that's just because you didn't read the books.
Yeah, well, nobody cared. Well, they didn't make him a big deal in season 1. It was like, oh, just go. And then, like, the only time they cared is when he killed the Viper. That was cool, right?
The what?
The Viper. Whatever it is.
The what?
The Viper? Whatever the fuck his name is. Whatever his name is. What is his name?
Oberon Martell.
What's his name?
The Red Viper.
There you go, yeah. Fucking, see?
Viper.
I thought you were like gonna go, oh, you see, it's I didn't call him the Red Viper. Gee, sorry, Joe, I didn't call him the bloody Red Viper.
It's like where everyone refers to Daenerys as Khaleesi. That's her title. I
Yeah.
hope you realise. That is her title.
Well, what do you refer to the Queen as?
The Queen.
Boom!
Yeah, but you don't
Boom.
refer to her as Your
Boom.
Majesty.
No, you refer to her as
Her
the
Majesty.
Queen.
So, Her
I believe
Majesty did
I believe
this.
her name is
Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth, but her actual name is Elizabeth
Windsor.
Windsor. I want to say Windsor. I don't think it is.
Winsley not.
Winsley not? What? No, Elizabeth Windsor not. It's not even right. It's Windsor not. Because I'm like, Winslow is the guy who does the voice for the Police Academy movies. So when you tie the knot, it's like...
Michael Winslow not.
Yeah, well, you call her the Queen, and that's her title. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you don't say, oh, the Majesty did this.
Sometimes you do.
Well, like, her character's name is Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
That's her name. In the book, it's written as Dany a lot of the time. You don't say, oh, Khaleesi did this. That's an honorific. That's what you say to someone.
Yeah, but like you don't go, if the book was written from like, I don't know, Prince Philip's perspective, it would be like, Lizzie did this. Lizzie went up the stairs. Lizzie did these things. But if you were reading it out loud, you wouldn't be going, Lizzie, you'd be like, the Queen did this. The Queen did that.
You don't, even with the Khaleesi thing, right? You don't say, no one has ever said in the history of the world, Khaleesi did this. They might say, the Khaleesi did this.
Yeah.
It's like saying, Queen did this. It's not a thing.
You say, the
like
Queen.
The Queen did this.
So you'd say
They
something like,
the Khaleesi.
the Khaleesi.
But all these people, naming their children Khaleesi, it's nothing.
Okay, that's weird, actually.
It's nothing.
Daenerys I could get, but Khaleesi,
It's like
what
naming
the
your
hell?
child Queen.
Well, you know what? Maybe that's not
It's
a bad
weird.
thing. Why would you not call your child Queen?
Because it's weird.
I don't know. There's a band called Queen.
Yeah, but that's a band. Bands can have obscure names.
Well,
That's
you know what? Kids these days, they have weird names anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, and when has that ever turned out well?
I don't know.
Just name your child a normal name,
What about
and it
asparagus?
will be fine. Yeah,
I'm gonna name my child asparagus.
that's. Do you want your child to be bullied at school?
And teach them, it's like that Johnny Cash song, Because I won't be around for my child, so he named him Sue.
What?
So like a Johnny Cash thing, it's like he named his child Sue.
I thought you were gonna say like
or something.
talk about Rings of
because
Fire.
he's no, it's like I don't know if that's Johnny Cash or something, but like he was named Sue, right? Or his birth name or something like that, or it's a song that he wrote because his dad wasn't going to be around to raise him, right? So he knew that he needed to be toughened up, needed a man in his life to toughen him up. So if he named him Sue, he'd get picked on in school, which would help toughen him up, which is really fucked up.
Yeah,
but
is
it's really
disturbing.
messed up. It's like, thanks, Dad, you're an asshole.
You know,
You know what? When it's time for retirement, maybe I go and I find a place called bloody, Shady Acres, and just dump you there. Sorry, it'll toughen you up. Wink, wink.
you know David Bowie
Yeah.
named his son Zoe Bowie.
Oh God.
Okay, and guess what?
Does that mean like what? Her name would also be
His name.
Zoe Stardust.
His name? I don't know.
But wasn't it his alien counterpart? Was Ziggy Stardust?
I guess. But Zoe Bowie, right?
It's really weird.
Grew up, turned into a normal person,
Yeah.
changed his name to Duncan Jones, and went on to direct Moon, Source Code, and now the Warcraft movie.
You see, I didn't know that.
That's very interesting, isn't it?
It's pretty interesting. It's nearly as interesting as jet fuel not being able to melt steel beams.
Is that true?
No, it's not. I don't know. I don't fucking care.
Let's get into the actual episode, which is why we're here. Did we talk a little bit about how the twists are different, how the characters are different? Let's get
a
on to
little
that
bit,
before we
didn't we?
actually start. So, Pete, who was pretty funny, sometimes funny because of his unfunniness
Yep.
in the first season, is now
A horrible drunk.
Is what?
He's a horrible drunk.
No, I wouldn't call him a horrible drunk. He's just a terrible human being. Not only is he not funny,
Yeah.
like the previous Pete, but he's not funny in his not funniness.
Yeah.
He's just terrible. He's barely present.
Yeah, I don't really like
He's
him.
smaller. He seems a lot younger than the other Pete. Actually, all of the new child characters seem a bit younger.
Maybe they were looking for they wanted to go for growth sort of thing. Like, I'll have an extra couple of episodes. We don't want to have to replace this actor at the end.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll work out. And I think that's a good idea because it's hard to tell if his Pete's voice had broken already.
Yeah.
I think it had.
Yeah.
Because you would have wanted a young looking kid whose voice had kind of already broken because then you could have maybe two.
Are
or
you talking
three
about
seasons.
season 1 Pete or season 2 Pete?
Season 2 Pete.
No, season 2 Pete's voice is broken. Season 1's, I think, had.
So yeah, that's a problem. Because then when you're at that age, when you cast children, their voice breaks.
Yep.
And that's a real problem. You have to redo the shots all the time.
Yeah.
Terminator. You ever seen Terminator 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens around that time.
Yeah.
It's bad, eh?
It's like in Harry Potter.
Potter 2, they had to redo the second Harry
They
Potter.
shot about half the movie and
Then his voice broke.
his voice broke, and
it's like,
they're like, well.
They could have easily solved that problem. Just
What?
been they could have made up a scene, or just let it happen. Right?
Because the thing with films is
Because you don't do it.
them
You don't shoot
order.
in. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you shoot parts depending on when things are free, like locations, etc.
Yeah.
And the things that are most convenient to shoot in certain parts of time, and you schedule it so that things are easier to shoot in blocks. So you hardly ever shoot in chronological order unless you're John Hughes and you're shooting The Breakfast Club, and you
That
can
makes
do whatever
sense.
you want
Because you're John Hughes.
because you got 6 characters in the entire movie in one location.
That's fine. Good old John Hughes. Good
Yeah,
for him. He
good on him.
made a movie. Made a film.
So, Pete, we talked about. That's another thing as well. Not only do they seem younger, but they seem to be written less mature, I guess.
Yeah.
The other set of twist children seemed, Bronson aside, obviously, seemed kind of more developed human beings, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas this Pete and Linda seem very childish.
I didn't like this Pete. I liked the previous Linda.
Yeah, me too.
like, she was good. One, she's a great singer, so there you go. Whenever you watch a season 2 episode, you're always, like, reminded of, you know, it's like listening to a band when they get rid of, Guns N' Roses is a good example of this, actually. When Slash left the band, and it's like, screw it, and Axl Rose is like, I'll start my own band.
Yes.
Right? And it's like, he makes Chinese Democracy, which is okay.
Well, I loved Chinese Democracy when it came out, but I listened to it a few weeks ago, and it was disgusting.
Like, it's okay. It's not great, but it's not as good as Appetite for Destruction.
Appetite for Destruction is amazing.
Really, really, really good. And so every time you hear Guns N' Roses song, you know, you'd be like, oh yeah, and then you realize, oh fuck, that's right, oh yeah.
Slash.
Or Bon Jovi's another good one.
Yeah.
His older, Slippery When Wet. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and if you went to go see Bon Jovi in concert, he'd be like, oh yeah, now we're gonna play some new stuff. It's like, no, don't play that. Just play your old stuff. But we always play old stuff. Just shut up and play it, man. Don't like Linda.
Linda in the older one, yeah, she was cool. She had the judo thing going.
Feisty.
Feminist.
Like, she was a feminist, but she was strong. Like, her character felt strong. Like, she didn't have to come out and say, this one was more, hey guys, let's all this literally, she's like, hey, we should respect each other's opinions and love each other and respect everyone's belief. And it's like, fuck, Linda.
This Linda's new character trait is basically, she doesn't have one.
Being a liberal pussy.
New age.
That's what it is.
I think new age is her defining characteristic in this. All we got from her was she was interested in hypnotizing. That was the only thing that we know about her.
Yeah, it's true. She was like, something like that. Oh, it's past lives. Yeah, we don't know anything else. But that being said, like, what else could we know, like, for one episode?
Well, in the first episode of
we know she does judo and...
Yeah, no, but you understand what she's like.
Yeah.
Like, and her dialogue actually has character about it. She has meaning. All the characters in this episode, not just the new ones...
Yeah.
But even Tony and Nell and the Gribbles, everything is just flat. Like, the writing is just so terrible. There's nothing there. I feel like all of the lines could have been said by any of the other characters. Really.
I feel like that was done because it was like, look, we got a lot of replacements. Let's just get over with. And that's why the whole theme of the episode was reincarnation. Snapper talks about it in school. And it's a big theme throughout the entire episode. So it's like, hey, reincarnated, get it?
You know what?
Nudge, nudge, get it?
You know what I think the problem is here?
Yeah.
I think that the problem is, I'm going to have to investigate this, but I think Paul Jennings wrote the first season.
Yeah, it would not surprise me.
And I feel like they've got a new writer here. Somebody new, probably, or somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing. And it shows. It really shows. Like, the writing is just not up to scratch.
Yeah. That's true. You know, but that's what happens when you don't get Paul.
Bronson as well, we didn't get a lot from him, but the guy that plays him, I think his name is Jeffrey Walker, is actually he's actually good, even at this age. Like, he's the only one that was kind of making a good effort. And he later goes on to be in a lot of ABC kids shows. Yeah, and I believe he's some sort of director now. And he did Thunderstone. Who's in Thunderstone?
I like that one.
He was in...
That was the one with, it's like post-apocalyptic or something? Yeah,
he was Noah in Thunderstone.
We should watch that. We should do that.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah.
And he did, what's his face? What's the other show we were talking about before? Ocean Girl. He's in Ocean Girl. And he also did Wayne Manifesto.
Did he Ace Lightning?
Wayne's World? Was it called Wayne's World? Yeah, whatever it was called. You know, ba 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 da ba. It's Wayne. And the dad is a plumber, and he has lots of toilets on the... You're missing a major part of your childhood.
I had Foxtel as a kid.
That was the best show.
Like, when you guys reference, like, when we're out with friends and they reference all their, like, ABC and TV shows, and it's like, they try to describe to me as like, did you ever watch this show about dinosaurs or something? It was like... No, it was like...
You mean Ugg?
No, not Ugg. It's like, it's animals. They're like a deer or something. It's like...
the animals of... Farthing Wood?
Yeah, it sounds really shit. Like, you guys described to me like, oh, I love that show. I'm like, that sounds really terrible.
It was devastating.
Terrible. Like, the stuff you guys had to watch.
Had to watch. We wanted to watch it.
You had passion
for our television.
You guys had like 3 channels. You didn't really have a choice.
You guys were just watching, the greatest show from America.
And I was watching...
about a cat who's adjoined to a dog.
Cat Dog.
Cat Dog's actually good, though.
I like Cat Dog. I like that. At least in one of the episodes, he goes into the toilet. Oh, it's really awesome. He goes into the toilet, and the people are like, they run out screaming, and then one of them's like, oh, so that's how they do it.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've kind of talked about them enough. Let's just get into talking about the actual episode, which we kind of need to do since we're about 20 minutes into recording this.
It doesn't never stopped us before.
That is very true. So the episode's called Next Time Around. The teaser at the beginning of the episode, which we normally have, this time has Pete emerging from a chicken egg.
Yeah, because the
new
next
Pete.
time... Well, which came first, chicken or the egg, I guess. Here we fucking
Boo.
go. Boo.
Okay, so we're open at the lighthouse. The kids come outside, and there's Gribble posters everywhere for his political party, the Progressive Conservative Party.
Yep, the Progressive Conservative Party, which apparently there are actual...
Is that an actual real thing?
There are
'Cause I was just
Progressive
about to
Conservative
say
parties. I've only found one
That is
on...
not a real thing.
Well, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Well, you could be Progressive Conservative, but that doesn't
There
really
is
mean
a
anything. You'd just be a
there we go.
centrist, right?
Well, Progressive Conservative Party of Canada, that's something.
Okay.
There you go.
What is it? It just basically means that you're centrist, though, really. Because they cancel each other out, right? Progressive being leftist, conservative being right.
We'll talk about the Canadian, because this is the Wikipedia article.
Yes.
Refers to a group of Canadian political parties that are technically distinct, positioned on the centre-right of the political spectrum.
Centre-right.
It's just the Liberal Party, essentially.
Yeah. Maybe they just added progressive to have a bit more of appeal to
Because you don't
the
want
left.
to be... yeah, I don't get it. Like, what?
If you identify too closely with the right, you end up getting called nasty things like racist. And...
Yeah, but if you identify close to the left, you get called a liberal douche.
Yeah, but they don't really care. Hippy-dippy.
Hippie, bloody,
leftists.
greeny stuff, pinko
Greeny,
commie. Like, there you go, there's tons of stuff. I guess though, if you're on the right, you just call you Nazi, and then it's like, well, you're done. Okay, fine.
Yeah, why not?
Even though Nazis are what, socialists?
National Socialists.
So, I don't understand politics sometimes. It's very weird. It's like, we're National Socialists and we hate communists.
So
How are you different?
the Gribble children are trying to plaster up posters everywhere for their dad, who's running for, we believe, Senate?
Yeah, he's running for the Senate.
I think would have made more sense if it was mayor, but apparently it's Senate.
What kind of Senate, though? Is it the, we don't actually know what Senate is.
It's probably state.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, so it's probably the Victorian Senate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nell comes up the hill. She's quite angry that there's posters everywhere, and she's carrying a child, which has been put in this episode for no reason. It's just, oh, yes, she has a nephew. Because, of course,
she's got
she has
this
7,000
small
brothers, so she must have one brother that has a child.
Well,
and this
we all
child
know
is
that
called... Guess
Tom.
what? Tom. Oh, yuck. They could have chosen a different name.
Tom,
Like, really?
man. Like, wasn't that a name of one of her brothers or something?
Yeah, the main one, the one that made the cloning machine and stuff.
There you go. There's proof right there.
Yuck.
I know. Well, I'm just saying. There's the proof. She after the lighthouse was nearly destroyed,
Yes.
Nell suffered a tremendous shock. Obviously, 'cause she's in a coma.
Yeah.
Obviously. Now that tremendous shock, right, and her family leaving. Of course, she needed a reason to stay at the lighthouse. Why? Well, now she's got a little nephew called Tom. She mixed up her brother's name, Tom. Just created this kid out of nothing. Oh, I found this nephew, Tom. Because it's not explaining where this nephew bloody comes from, right? Tom can't leave the lighthouse because of Tom.
Anthony, of course, is referring to the coma theory that explains everything that's happening around the twist as a part of one of Nell's coma dreams.
And then it also explains why all the other characters mostly all the other characters around the twist are different.
Why?
Because she suffers tremendous shock while she's in the coma, right? Which basically kind of messes her brain up. So, like, the characters, how they look, aren't as important as their role in her life. You know, Linda being her, you know, all that stuff. So it doesn't matter how she really looks, as long as it's still a girl of this age, around about that description. So, all in her head, reincarnation, boom, there you go.
I just wanted to point out here that the color saturation in this scene is not that great.
Okay.
It looks disgusting.
You don't like
So
colour saturation?
the Gribbles arrive, and with Mr. Gribble arrives, with his wife, who I still believe is called Matron, and they look gross. They're wearing like really bright colors, and because of the lighting, it just looks terrible.
Yeah, so what's she wearing? She's wearing like some full yellow suit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, there you go, Palmer United Party.
Mr. Twist comes out, and he's very, very mad that there's posters everywhere, and he says the lighthouse is apolitical.
Is apolitical. That's not right.
That's what he said.
Yeah, but still isn't right. You know that Tony Twist is a Green supporter.
Yeah, but he said the lighthouse is apolitical.
That's bullshit.
He's fine with... And this is another thing. They're putting up posters on the lighthouse. Who actually comes here other than the Twists and Gribble?
I
and
agree.
Faye?
And who asks? Like, that's bullshit too. Like, Gribble's like, oh, we're going to post it up on your lighthouse. That's your property. Like,
that's your house.
That's not cool, man. Like,
That's against the rules,
like,
bro.
I mean, you could, like, for all we know, like, Gribble and Tony, they didn't fully make up, but they kind of made up a little at the end of season 1. The least you could have done, Gribble, has been like, look, I'm trying to run for Senate. Could you
Yeah.
help me out? And, maybe that could have been something, and then maybe he would have put a poster up for a couple of weeks just because it's like, Harold is a nice guy. He's just
He's
got
not.
some priorities mixed up. Well, dear Tony Twist, you're very gullible. I don't know.
Young Gribble says to his dad, Mr. Twist is going to chuck a wobbly, so his dad backs down and they take down all the posters.
As they should.
Terrible writing. Just, what is this scene? Does nothing.
I don't know. Whatever.
Nell says, hey, look, Tony, can you look after my nephew? Because I have to go somewhere else.
Reasons.
I have to go
reasons.
to the meeting.
To the meeting with...
To find out what Gribble is going to do if he becomes Senate or mayor or other political position.
You know, it's really weird.
What?
Okay, he's running for Senate, but he wants to, I think one of the things he wants to do is allow casinos in, or like Gribble Casino.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would you run for Senate? I know that Senate might be a little bit easier to get on. Like, a lot of smaller parties do try to get in on the Senate.
Yeah.
But you can't introduce legislation into the Parliament at the Senate level. Like, you have to have an in at Parliament. You'd have to have some sort of deal worked out. So it's like, you didn't think that much through. You just have to be there going, oh, is this one help me get my casino? No. Okay, well then I don't know, I won't approve it.
I guess.
Like, I don't understand Gribble's strategy. It doesn't make any sense.
Linda is reading a hypnosis book. This is inside a bit later. And she's trying to hypnotize herself to gain access to some of her past lives. Pete's really unfunny and makes a joke, which I didn't even bother to write down because it was so bad.
It was something like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's why are you
Is
gonna...
your past life less ugly than
Yeah,
you?
yeah, were you actually pretty in your past life? Or
Yeah,
something?
good job there.
And then she's like, oh, you should respect other people's beliefs about bloody hypnosis or some shit.
We like to take cracks at Paul Jennings, but
I don't think he wrote this.
I'm 80% sure this wasn't Paul. So
No.
we can't even take cracks at him. Who is the person that's writing this?
George Costanza.
No.
It's George
Costanza would be better than this.
Alright, Malcolm Dowell.
Who's that?
No.
Are we going to get in trouble for...
Isn't that the guy? He's the guy who played, he's the Malcolm McDowell. That's who I'm thinking of. Malcolm McDowell.
What's the guy from...
He's the guy from, Clockwork Orange.
Oh, okay. What's the guy from the other episode? Mr...
Let's just blame Peter Weir.
No, the guy
Let's
with the
just
black
blame him.
hat. Peter Weir.
Is it Peter Weir, or who's the guy who wrote Away?
That's, I don't remember. Away being an iconic Australian play.
Yeah, about a guy who wants to have sex with this girl
Well, he
because he's
has
got a blood disease.
he has blood cancer.
And he's like, have sex with me because I have blood cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
super
I
weird.
was like, what? Where did this come from? What?
Michael Gow.
Michael Gow. Michael Gow wrote this episode.
Michael Gow didn't write this episode. It was
Michael Gow, the character in my novel.
what was the character with the black hat in the finale of season 1? Mr. Hemming.
Mr. Henderson.
Yeah, we'll just say Mr. Henderson.
Okay, Mr. Henderson. Or Michael Gow.
Yeah, or no.
Michael Gow, the character in my book.
No, just just Mr. Henderson.
Eastern stores in April.
No.
Get your copy today.
No. Peter is very unfunny, like I said. The music, I wrote down here that the music is bad in this episode.
Well, they went from commercial TV budget to ABC TV budget.
No, this was still on 7.
Was it?
Yeah, 92, yeah. In
Not enough
the
faith
first
in your
season,
product.
in
Yeah, well.
the 89 season, the music is really like 80s. It's very synthy, it's cool. I don't know how to describe the music in this episode. Disgusting, I think.
I don't know. I think I would just... I don't know. Maybe the series will grow on a season. I don't know.
Maybe. I hope so. Otherwise, there's going to be a long season. Tony has a chicken on the table called Russell, and he says, Russell, number 4. And the chicken can count to 4. And then Faye is there.
Not fair.
I didn't mention that, but Faye is here, and she says, number 6, Russell. And he counts to 6 with his beak, tapping on the table. And then Pete says, Russell, number 5,625. And then the chicken goes crazy.
No, I see. The thing is...
That's a joke.
No, you see, like... I don't like the chicken, alright? Like, seriously, like, you could train that chicken to kill. It's those goddamn robots again, alright? It's like a robot chicken, okay? How else would you explain it? Can't be explained. You could train that chicken to kill. All you'd have to do is, like, make the... I don't know, just get them to do it over someone's neck, right? While they sleep, and just be like, Russell, number 99. And you go, bum, 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 bum. And then you walk away. And then people would go, oh no, it was death by chicken. You would never suspect Tony Twist Or in this case, Bronson, because we know Bronson goes back in time.
Yeah, we know Bronson is a serial killer.
He goes back in time, so maybe that's why he went back in time.
To stop the chicken.
No, to get the chicken, because chickens don't last that long.
I don't know if you'd need to go back in time to get a chicken to kill somebody. If you were
If you want to get a robot chicken that can do it for you, then you probably do.
Well, if we're using the time travel logic from a film like Looper,
Yeah.
then yes, because it didn't make any sense. Oh yeah, I need to go back in time. No.
Why does he go back in time again?
For plot reasons. That movie doesn't make any sense. If you chart it out, nothing in that movie makes sense. The logic is inconsistent. He
didn't have to actually go back in time. Like, he could have just been like, oh no, I remember why he goes back in time, because his wife gets killed.
Yeah, but there's just so many inconsistencies in that film, but let's not get into that. Linda wants to get the chicken and hypnotize it, because apparently you can hypnotize chickens.
Yeah, you can, apparently. I've seen people do it.
Pete and Bronson are there
to
watch, and she does some magic things and freezes the chicken.
No, frozen chicken.
It just freezes.
There you go. And this is really weird too, because the chicken's frozen for like the most of the episode.
Yeah.
And people just start throwing it around.
People are doing horrible things
to
this chicken.
What the hell? Like, this one part where, like, I think one person's trying to dust with the chicken or dangle it around. I'm like, by its feet, I'm like, what the fuck? This is a chicken still. Like, that's not a ornament. It's still a chicken. Like, how would it not feel those things? And then when afterwards we get like brain damage.
It's hypnotized.
If it was unhypnotized, you wouldn't know because it'd have brain damage.
Pete dares Linda to hypnotize him. She hypnotizes him so that whenever somebody says now, he acts like a chicken for 10 seconds. And when she says now, Pete acts like a chicken for 10 seconds. And it is terrible acting on behalf of Pete. Well, I understand it's your first episode, mate, but pick up your game. We've got a long season to go. Let's get it going.
You know what, Pete? You're alright, buddy.
I am not a fan of this Pete.
You're alright, Pete. You're okay.
No, he's not okay in my books.
You got some big shoes to fill.
He's a big step down from our previous Pete, who was actually seemed like a real person.
You know what? Sometimes you can't get Al Pacino, so you have to settle with bloody Robert Duvall.
Duvall's good.
I know. He's pretty good.
This guy is no Duvall.
I don't know who he is. I don't know. What's an Al Pacino stand-in?
What?
An Al Pacino. Give me a stand-in for Al Pacino. Like, if you couldn't get Al Pacino, who would you put in a role?
I don't know. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, it's actually a good point. It's Keanu Reeves. He has to, like, do Dog Day Afternoon too.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's big shoes, man. Big shoes. Or John Travolta. Don't be John Travolta.
Because
that'd be Swordfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay, John Travolta. Would just be like, yeah, it's not good, but, you know, hey, I'll take the Travolta. Eh?
Yeah, not the same.
Not the same,
That's not the same.
No, you want the cappuccino, not the Al Pacino.
Tony says it's time for school, guys. You better come out and let's go to school.
We gotta go to school. We love school here. Yay. And then they go to school. Funny.
Well, the chicken's still frozen.
Yeah, what's that? He's prize-winning chicken and, like... Tony doesn't even care. Like, Tony, it's like, he shows it off to Faye, and then it's like, this chicken, which he's supposed to, like...
Yeah,
this mythical chicken... I don't even know where he got this bloody thing from.
I don't know. He's supposed to be an artist. Why has he got a mathematical chicken?
Where did he get it from? I mean, yeah, we all know it's some magical thing, but, like, it's just full of holes. Sorry, it doesn't make any sense.
Sorry, Mr. Henderson. You are bad.
You're a bad writer, Henderson. Maybe this is your way of getting rid of the lighthouse. But by bad writing, you'll get the show off the air. I see what you're doing, Henderson. I'm watching you.
Tony confiscates the hypnotism book from Linda. Mm-hmm. Linda's upset. Then he says... Now,
yeah,
he says hi in his dialogue,
and then Pete's like,
Pete goes off,
and then Linda's like, and then Bronson's like, oh, it's a new dance craze. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'd actually, if I was a father, I'd believe that because modern
kids are crazy.
Kids have really shitty taste in like everything,
and then Nintendo.
They're playing with their Digimons and
what do they have these days? Byakugan.
I don't know. They got Bakugans and they've got bloody. That 500 seconds of summer and...
What?
I don't know. Just have you ever
500 seconds of summer.
You ever been on Twitter?
No.
Just go on Twitter and then you just find out what the kids are interested in. Oh, they're interested in...
This sounds like stalking.
One Direction. No, it's like... Because it's the trending hashtags. It's always bloody related to One Direction or something. One Direction, one of the guys, he doesn't want to drink milk for some reason. And then it'd be no milk for Aunt Ash or something. I don't know.
Are the...
Oh, what the fuck? What's wrong with you kids?
I didn't realise that One Direction was still relevant. I thought that was like 3 years ago.
I don't know. Like, moral of the story, kids, you have shit taste in music.
Agreed.
Bloody hell. But not mountain music back in our day, I tell you what.
It
was pretty
Our music was bad when we were kids, yeah. If they get to school, what did we have? Aqua?
Yeah, it was so bad. And we had like Ace of Base.
Ace of Base?
That was bad. Like, yeah, okay, so, like, most pop music is pretty
Yeah,
shit.
pop music is always pretty bad. Except in the 80s. The pop music is horrible from the 80s.
There's some good pop music from the
Yeah.
80s, like...
Yeah, definitely.
But,
Human
like-
Movement?
Yeah.
Is that the band?
Yeah, I don't know. The one that's like,
Don't you want me,
Sorry,
baby? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. But that's like, they had some hit and misses, but it's like, I feel like pop music has to be distilled over time. Because you only ever remember the good stuff.
Yeah.
Or the really bad stuff. But you don't remember that stuff in between. Like, I'm sure Vanilla Ice had another song other than Ice Ice Baby. I don't know what it was, and nobody else does, but everyone remembers Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah.
You know?
Men Without Hats were in the 80s.
Yeah, they were. That's
That one song, Safety Dance.
Safety Dance.
Best song.
best song, and then nobody else cared, you know?
No.
But they had other songs.
I guess. Probably. Tony is at school now. He's just dropped his kids off, and he wants to hypnotize Faye. So he starts trying to hypnotize... He starts trying to read out the words.
I think he's trying to, like, research
and
how to do it first.
Well, he's reading it out and he's looking in the mirror, and then Faye comes over and is like, "What are you doing, Tony?"
Oh, nothing, just,
Nothing.
something.
That
Like,
ends.
it's really weird, because aren't they in, like, they're in a
Well,
relationship,
they
so again-
got engaged at the end of first season, and we don't really get the feeling that they're still engaged here.
But they
so
still,
has that been
but they
retconned?
kiss and stuff, so it's like...
Did they?
Yeah, they kissed in
Oh,
the
okay.
episode, so I'm like... But it wasn't like a big deal. It was like, oh, look, here's Faye. And they go in for a kiss as if it was a normal thing you'd do when you see your girlfriend. Okay, so they're together. Why do you need a hypnotizer?
Yeah,
Like, I don't
kinda
understand.
weird.
You're already with her. Like,
Come on, Tony.
And not only that, it's a little weird as well, because you'd be like, how would you explain that? Like, you get married, and it's like 2 years later, it's like, oh, by the way, I actually hypnotized you when we were dating. Wait, when we were dating.
When we were
Yeah,
engaged.
Yeah, when we were engaged, you hypnotized me. Yeah, I did. I did. Sorry.
It's kind of a big deal.
What the fuck?
I feel like that would be a deal breaker.
I don't know if it's a deal breaker, but it'd be like some serious trust issues.
The twists have the chicken. They've
Yeah.
brought the chicken to school.
Why?
I don't know.
Why did they bring the chicken to
they're
school?
playing
What's wrong with
it.
these children?
Fiona is here, being
Fiona.
herself.
Well, she works
Is it
there.
is
so-
it offensive to say Aboriginal?
No.
Is that offensive?
No. Why? She's Aboriginal. Or she's Aborigine.
Is it
it
don't you have to
offensive?
say like indigenous now?
What? No. What? Fuck that.
Why?
Because, like, if you're Indigenous, how do you know if it's Aboriginal or if it's
I'm-
Torres Strait
what are
Islander?
the- what are the
How do you
rules?
know? How do you know if it's Torres Strait Islander?
What are the rules?
No, you don't know.
I don't know. This is why I'm asking.
You know, I don't care. Right? Fucking.
I don't want to offend anyone.
I don't go.
I just don't know the
I don't go
rules.
to England and fucking go. English. You're Indigenous. When you're fucking English. Boom. Done.
I just
Okay.
want to know the rules so I don't
Okay.
offend
Well,
anyone.
my rules is I just call. I call a thing what it is. All right. It's Aboriginal. Okay. Be proud of that. It's fine. Nothing wrong. Jesus.
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know the rules. If somebody knows the rules and they want to tell me, that would be good.
People make up rules all the bloody time.
Yes.
I don't care.
The Gribbles come and they take the chicken and they throw it around to each other. Now, the new Gribbles, let's just talk about them. James Gribble, the first Gribble wasn't that good. The second Gribble, not any
No,
better.
that's good. No.
Tiger is the big, dopey-looking one, except apparently he's the commentator. In the first season of Around the Twist, Tiger was the small, smart one. And Rabbit here, instead of being the big dopey one, is the smaller one, but he's supposed to be the dopey one, but he doesn't look the role at all. Like,
No.
I would not have
Look,
cast
to be
him
honest,
as Rabbit.
dopey works really well when you're a larger person. And I don't mean like fat. I mean just like broader,
Yes.
larger set. Because it works well with your character. It's like you're the muscle, you don't need to be
Yeah.
the brainy one.
The casting was so spot on in first season.
Yeah, like when we saw it, and I hear Tiger, was it Tiger?
Commentating, yeah.
Commentating, I'm like, just stop.
Yeah, you're ruining
Just
his
killing me.
legacy.
Just do something else. You don't have to commentate like him. You could do it differently. You know, you could do like witty, like little witty snaps. You know,
Yeah.
that could be your thing. Don't commentate like a legend. You know, like it's like someone who takes over for a lead singer and then copies their style. It's like, no, Mary, no, forge your own path, bro.
Yeah.
Don't bloody remind us why we could be watching season 1 again.
Yeah. Snapper is teaching reincarnation.
I like Snapper.
James Gribble didn't do his homework.
Of course he
Snapper tells him to do it now, and it sets off Pete. Tiger is commentating this. There was no need for him to be commentating this.
Well, Tiger did commentate everything though.
Snapper's not impressed, and then James sets him off again.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a montage here of people shouting now
Yeah.
at Pete to setting him off. Very
Yeah.
lazy writing.
They're like, now, and then it's like they try to act like chickens. I'm sure there's a deeper meaning we could make up for this, but you know what?
There's not, because
Let's
it's
not.
a terrible episode.
It's a terrible episode. I don't want to do that. Like,
I think you can guess how many bowls of spaghetti I'm giving this episode.
You're not giving it any. You're gonna You're gonna ask for some bowls of spaghetti.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll get to that point.
No, you're gonna ask for udon noodles, right? Because
Udon is good.
Yeah, I know, but like, it's like if you walked into a Italian place and you're like, "Can I get a bowl of spaghetti bolognese?" and they bring out udon noodles, you'd be like, "What? This isn't like." You're not mad, but it's like
you're just confused.
You're really confused because it's like, this is an Italian place. You're looking around, you see all the Italian flags, you see the Mussolini pictures because that's what they have in Italian
Mussolini
places.
pictures.
I'm assuming that's what they have.
Would you, if you owned a spaghetti restaurant, would you put up pictures of Mussolini?
No, I don't even do that.
What famous person would you put up pictures of?
Actually, it's a good question. The Pope, I guess. I don't know.
The Pope?
Pope is fine because you're Roman. Maybe you're a Roman Catholic or something. I don't know. I can't think of any. I'm sorry, I cannot think of any other Italians.
You know who I would put pictures up of?
Who?
Tony Abbott, but just his ears.
Why?
Because I think it would be ironic.
I don't get it. Why?
It'd be funny.
You'd be like, hey, look, we got whose ears are that? And they go, Tony Abbott.
Well, and then you put a picture right next to it of just John Howard's eyebrows.
Guess so. You could do that if you wanted to.
It's ironic.
Why is it ironic?
It's ironic because you don't have the full picture. You just have like a part of their face. It's like, oh, I gotta, because when you go to restaurants in like Asian countries, they always have pictures of like famous presidents and stuff that went and ate there.
That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool if you had a list of a whole bunch of different people who ate there and it was just a part of their face. But as having Tony Abbott's ears, it'd be like, what's the joke? He's not listening to Australia? Is that the joke you're trying to say? I don't know. John Howard's eyebrows, they'd be like, he's not
Or you could just put pictures up of random people.
Just call them whatever. Just call them whatever.
John Smith ate here in 2015. And like a picture of him like shaking hands with your family.
Or photoshopped onto Tony Abbott's.
Yeah. No, that's
cool.
getting weird.
Why?
Snapper's really mad because no one has ever played up in his class this bad before as Pete doing all the chicken noises. And he gives him a whole bunch of homework to do. Like heaps and heaps of homework, all these mathematical sums that he has to do. Gribble is roaming about with his mate, shouting, now. It's super lame, really bad writing. Fiona and Linda save Pete and say, they're gone now, sets off Pete.
Yeah.
He does his chicken thing again.
Yeah.
The Gribbles are tracking Pete.
They are.
Like he's some kind of animal. And they put
indeed.
snails on the ground. And then he's walking past with the two girls. And the Gribbles pop out and they shout, now! And he eats 3 snails.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, he eats those 3 snails, and I counted, and apparently the hypnosis is supposed to last, like, 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was longer.
It was like 20 or 30 seconds. And no, and they never went, look, I think you're gonna eat that now.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been better, like, if he was getting close and then snapped out, and then, like, the twist, Gribbles had said, we're not done. It's like, are you done now? Or some other joke. Because then it would be like, oh man, I'm still at the mercy.
And then he has to keep going.
He has to keep going, and then it's like, this scene ends, now for dessert. That would have been it. Like, I had it in his mouth and it'd be like gross, and then he just pulls out a worm and goes, now for dessert. And it's like, that would have been better than just, now. And then, bark, I'm a chicken, look at me, I'm eating.
The girls don't even attempt to help him.
No, they don't even help.
Really, just bad form.
Well, how do they, I don't know how they help. They'd have to kick the thing or something. Or they could just hold him,
Grab
right?
him, yeah, and drag him away. He's
Why
not
doesn't
that
he,
big,
why,
he's
why-
really skinny.
Why doesn't he lay an egg? Maybe he does lay an egg.
What? It's not physically possible.
Oh, because he's a rooster, that's right.
He's a person.
Well, but he would try to lay an egg and he'd just, like, poo his
Be a
pants,
poo.
right? Yeah.
I guess.
That's a bit weird, but I guess
Yeah,
that
bit
would
weird.
work in around the twist, though.
Tony's serving dinner at home. It's big chicken meal.
Get it? Do you get it, Joe? Do you get it?
Get
It's like, bam, this is the joke. Get it? Wink, wink, smiley
There's
face.
some ghosts on the steps. New ghosts. I don't think I've seen
What
these
the
ghosts
hell?
before.
Like, it's just,
It's so, like, casual, their introduction. It's like, oh.
hey, remember these
Okay.
guys? Remember these ghosts? No, because they
And
weren't there.
they're watching the family eat, and they say, "Oh, I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten in years." This is contradictory to at the
Because
end of
they eat
season
ghost
1.
food.
Yeah, they eat
You
ghost
don't even
food.
watch. You don't even watch the show, do you?
What? What did you call
I
them?
call them fucking posers. What they are, like, that's what they are, right? Because they didn't watch
Stop
the show.
swearing on a podcast.
Sorry, but like, I'm just mad. Like, they didn't even watch the show. If they
Yeah,
knew that,
I'm
they'd be
mad
like, okay,
too.
spiritual energy is what feeds them. I mean, geez, continuity. I mean, why... Bronson can't go back in time if the ghosts are hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. I'm done. That's it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Bronson takes off his shoes, and apparently it's really smelly. I'm not sure why that was included.
I think it's like because I feel
It's
like
a character thing for him.
No, I felt
maybe?
like because like he also grabbed all the food from the main plate because like
Yeah.
Bronson's he likes to eat food as
Yeah.
you all know. But he was like, oh, if people get married, then do people still eat?
Yeah, where's all the food go?
Where's all the food go? I feel like he did that as well just to because he's not comfortable with the idea of having a new mother.
Okay.
Like maybe that was a defense thing because I was like, but it was never played out enough.
Yeah.
Like, it should have been like, one more thing and that Bronson tried to do to try to offset Faye.
Yeah.
But that might be something that comes through this season that we learn that, Bronson doesn't really like the idea of replacing his mother or something. But with this bad writing, I don't even think we're going to get closure. Like, that would be a nice arc where Bronson, like, slowly learns, to let go of his mother and accept his new mother, which is something that children would face in the high divorce rate
Maybe.
90s. But, no, probably not. I don't predict it. Bloody hell, it's just gonna be dragons and shit. That's what it's going to be.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Nell shows up with the small child, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, first of all, Tony wants to know why Pete's been making the chicken noises. No real explanation is given because they kind of cut it. It's kind of cut off before Bronson can say he turns into a chicken every time somebody says now. Nell shows up with a small child, wants to go to the meeting. And
Yep.
her exposition is just so bad. She was okay in season 1 at delivering it, but in this episode,
delivered
she's
the-
just like, we have to go to the meeting now to hear
Nell's
what Gribble
best
will tell
role
us.
has always been the explainer of mysterious things.
Yes.
What should have happened was the hypnosis should have gone after Pete, right?
Yeah.
But Linda doesn't know how to turn it off.
Yeah.
And Linda, even reading through the book, she can't turn it off. Then at the dinner table, she says, whenever someone says now, that's ridiculous. All right. And then she could have come in and then said something, what's going on? What are you all up to now? What are you up to now or something? He's doing the chicken thing. And then Linda would have said he's hypnotized. Bronson said that. Tony would have then said, oh, yeah, it's just silly. Nell would have been there then and say, that's not silly. That actually happens, blah, blah, blah. Linda then would have asked Nell how to stop it. How do I reverse the spell? She would have explained some bullshit quest they have to go on. Like you have to go and do some sort of act or you have to go and collect some object and do something with it. Then that should have been the rest of the story. That rest of the story should have been them collecting said object to try to stop it. Because that's what Nell would have done in season 1.
Yes. So they leave Pete and Linda with the small child Tom, who has the chicken and is smacking it around, smacking its head on the couch.
Like, what is wrong with this child?
Who knows?
What's wrong with him?
He's I think he's just in this episode. So the other thing with this kid is that basically every time he speaks, it's not really him speaking. They've dubbed it over the top because he must have been some sort of pain in the neck to actually say his lines. Linda tries to hypnotize Pete to be a genius so he can do his work. He says, just fix it. Just fix the hypnosis spell you did on him. There's no need to get this weird stuff.
Instead of just fixing the hypnosis, she's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to reveal your past self.
Yeah, which
What?
is super dumb. So she
Also,
hypnotizes him.
Those past self things, I personally don't think I think it's BS.
Yeah. It follows the theory of reincarnation. You have to believe in reincarnation to believe in past lives.
But even people, though, like, who believe in reincarnation, take, like, Hindus and stuff, they don't necessarily believe that you can access your
human
past
to human.
life. You know?
Yeah.
This whole Western idea did popped up in, like, the late 80s, early 90s, was like, with deep hypnosis, you can access your past life. But a lot of times, I think they showed that it was, being fed by, like, it was the operator, the person who was hypnotizing, was unintentionally feeding them scenarios.
Cues.
So it's like, what is your guy doing? Where is he standing? Or why, he's standing, he's in the French Revolution.
Yeah.
You know what you never see?
What?
This episode did it, at least. You never see a guy who's like, I don't know, a professional dog walker. Or, I don't know, a garbage man. Or, you know what, maybe he doesn't have a job. Hey, in my past life, I was a poor starving child in India. I died at 6 years old.
Yep.
Never see that. It's always, I'm Marie Antoinette. And Napoleon, oh no, he wants to have my baby. Or, he's having an affair. Or, I don't know, I'm the Prime Minister of Australia, the first Prime Minister. No, you're not. Right? Not everyone gets to be the first Prime Minister of Australia. Some of us have to be garbage men in our past life. Don't see that, though.
Linda sends Pete 30 years back in time. He's a fireman.
Why? whatever.
And he decides that he has to rescue everyone,
And
so
there's
he
a
drags
fire.
out.
Like-
There's a fire there when there's not really.
I get that he is a fireman, but there's still no fire. Okay.
He drags out Linda and he drags out little Tom, and the whole thing is just brain-numbingly dull.
Instead of turning
takes
off-
a hose, he goes inside, just sprays everything with water, and basically destroys their entire house.
Instead of turning off the hose,
What?
like
Yeah.
Linda sort of been like, okay, this is just turn off the hose.
Yep.
To which Pete would have been like, why is the hose off? Oh no, we're gonna have to. I don't know what he would have done then, but it's a cement structure, so $10 says he would have just left it.
Yeah.
Probably what a good fireman does. There's no one else in the house. There's no point trying to save a house full of no burning people. But no, what she does, she goes to Tom. Hey, little boy who is like 4 years old, let me mess with your mind.
Yeah, let me
turn you
hypnotize
into,
you.
first off, some really weird, creepy, like, British guy.
A flamboyant man named Nigel Feathers, who is a flower shop owner.
I think that's supposed to be, it's a little,
What?
I want to say slightly some homophobic undertones. It's like, oh, let's turn you into some past life. Oh, I'm Nigel Fairweather, and a flower shop. Oh, but we can't send let's come on, say a puff to go and
What?
fight the fireman. What? That's exactly what it is, because guess what happens? They go and go, alright, oh, no, I can't have that. Alright, who else were you 30 years ago? So that means also Nigel died or something?
Yeah.
Or the wrestler died? So they're like, oh, we can't have this girly man try to take this girly puffy guy, stop the fireman. What we're going to need to do is we need to go and get the wrestler.
So
How did she even know it was going to be a wrestler?
She didn't.
Like,
Plot. She turns him into
no.
a wrestler who's apparently really strong, and he goes inside, picks up Pete, and they fight, and the baby wins. Then Linda snaps them back, and apparently now they're all cured.
is it, she
Pete
snaps
doesn't
them
turn
out by
into a
doing this.
chicken anymore.
She goes through some random verses, and then she goes, or something like that.
Yep.
And it's like,
Very lame.
that solved the thing. Again, no reading, no learning, no using Nell's skills to create anything. It's just, random words with my mouth, little blah, 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 blah. Any of those things would have been fine, because whatever. I'm a bad writer, my name is Mr. Henderson, and I like to destroy the lighthouse.
Tony gets home. He's really annoyed that they put water all through his lighthouse, so he grounds them both for 25 years.
That makes
In
sense.
class the next day, Pete's really tired. Everyone's shouting now at him, but it doesn't turn him into a chicken because he'd been up all night trying to do his math sums, but he couldn't get it done.
You couldn't do it.
Instead of actually doing them, Linda has sorted something out. She passes Pete a maths sheet.
Yeah.
Pete takes it, gives it to Snapper, and Snapper says all of these are correct because Linda's stayed up all night as well, and she's got the chicken to do the math sums instead of actually, I don't know, using a calculator.
Or even just doing the math sums. I mean, like, well, how hard were the math sums? Or even, like, if you can't, how would you even know if the math sum was correct? I don't even understand that. Like,
He just looks at it in plot.
no, I mean, like, how do you as a child not know that this thing is incorrect? Like, a math, like, they weren't, what I saw was, they weren't word equations, where it's like, John has 8 cabbages, he needs to plant,
No.
them in a row of 6, blah, 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 you know, how many?
Square root of
This
number.
Thing. No, they were very much just numeric equations. So how would you know if you got them right or wrong? You wouldn't until
No,
you
you
presented them. So it's like, you know, at least if you showed the effort you had, like, Snapper might be like, oh, these are all wrong. And it's like, well, he at least did them, for starters. And just, you know what? That chicken wouldn't have shown work, wouldn't he?
No,
he
just
wouldn't have shown it.
tapped.
He would have tapped, right? So he would have tapped the answer. So what Linda would do would just write the answer. So a good school teacher would be like, wow, all of these are correct, except you haven't showed you're working ever, right? What would you do?
What do you mean?
Let's say, because you know, you do a bit of
I don't
subbing.
care.
Come on,
I
what would
would
you
be
do?
like,
Come on.
Whatever.
Okay, so let's say you were like, you did care. Like, you weren't just a subs teacher. It was like, hey bros, we're just going to do media study. No, like, you were a maths teacher. This was your profession. And this little shit was supposed to do his equations, and he's come back with just completed solutions.
I don't know, give him detention.
Yeah, that's what I'd do. I'd be like, these are all right, but you haven't shown you're working, so these are clearly not yours. Or even just grade him wrong or something, you know?
Yep.
Or ask him, or what I'd do is I'd get him to go up on the blackboard, I'd write a new equation that's similar.
Get him to do it.
Get him to do it, can't do it. And you clearly can't.
It's like the
not
plot
yours.
of an 80s sitcom episode.
It is, and then he becomes super smart, and he's like, oh, and blah, 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 and he explains Einstein's theory of secret relativity.
So-
'cause not the regular one.
Secret relativity.
Or special, it's the secret one that no one
Turns
knows about.
out the chicken did it because he used to be a maths professor for like Cambridge or Oxford or something.
What did he do in his past life to screw that one up, huh?
Yeah,
Like,
Become
he
a
must,
chicken.
No, he must have murdered some people.
probably.
He probably murdered some
You know
people.
these maths people.
Yeah, well, you never know, right? Like, he would have been like, oh, Actually, I don't know. Maybe he was at Cambridge, right? And he dabbled in some of he was like, oh, those female co-eds, they look all right. But then, like, they rejected his advances, so he killed them. And then it's like, oh, no, I'm a murderer. And what happens to murderers? They get turned into animals because, well, it's butchering, like reincarnation, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You'd have to do something bad to become a chicken from a human.
So during this time, the Gribbles steal the hypnosis book, which was sitting on Linda's desk, and then we cut to the lighthouse, and the Gribbles show up there, and they're like, what have you done to my son? What have you done to him? Because Gribble is acting like a monkey, the James Gribble.
Yeah.
Because, plot. He must have hypnotized himself. And then that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Well, I'm glad that's over.
Me too. And
I don't want to ever think about this episode again.
Well, you know, that's just the way it is sometimes. Sometimes you get like a shitty episode, and that just was a bad episode.
Hopefully this is the outlier. Hopefully this is the bird's doe. How would you know? Do you have anything that you want to add?
What, to the episode?
Yeah.
I don't know, like, yeah, I want to add like a new script.
You.
I went there. Yeah, no, I thought the episode was pretty bad.
Bowls of spaghetti. How many?
I would ask for my money back.
What? Oh, you just ask for your money back?
Yeah, I want to eat.
Yeah, mine is about a half bowl of spaghetti.
Like, I come out, like, they give me the bowl of spaghetti, and it's literally tin spaghetti that hasn't been warmed up. It's just like, and you know when, like, you take tin spaghetti out of a can, and it plops into a plate?
Yeah.
But the form of the tin is still apparent within it. It's like, here you go. And they put a basil leaf just on top because it's like...
Because...
They can. They're like, hey...
Screw you.
Screw you. This is what we want to do. I'm like, no, I'm not paying for that. No, they charge me $20 for it too. They call it something like, they'll call it something like industrialist, spaghetti, deconstructionist spaghetti. That's what they call it. Yeah.
Screw you.
Screw you. You did not like this episode. You did not like it at all.
I hated it.
You were struggling through it. You're just like... And you're struggling through this episode. You're just like... I just want to die. I just want to die.
I just want to talk about a season 1 episode. I wish there were more. They were so good. Now we get this pile of garbage.
Hop on Pop was better than this.
Definitely.
Fucking right,
Maybe
it
we
is.
should just change the direction of this podcast to just reading out Dr. Seuss books every week.
Well, maybe we should read a Dr. Seuss book beforehand and then check to see if this episode is any good. They'll be like, how does this stack up to Hop on Pop? Well, Hop on Pop, you know, it's light on substance, but by God, if it's...
Light on substance? What are you talking about?
That's true.
There's some depth in that book.
There is true depth in that book. This is no depth in this episode.
One of the things we like to do on the podcast is talk about what we had for lunch. Anthony, what did you have for lunch today?
I haven't had lunch yet.
Because it's only just...
Because it's lunchtime right about now.
It's lunchtime now.
I got some corn chips. I might make some nachos or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That'll be fun. I'll enjoy that. You know, I'll eat that, and maybe I'll watch something on the telly that's not shit. Like, you know when you eat something really bad?
Yes.
And you have to, or drink something, and you have to clear that out of your throat?
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be like this, except with my eyes and ears.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to watch something good.
Yes.
I don't know.
And I had a pie from my local bakery for, like, breakfast, I guess.
Breakfast pie,
A late breakfast.
A late breakfast pie, that's alright, you
We
know.
like to support our local bakeries.
That's what you do, eh? I like to eat croissants for breakfast, to be honest.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
they didn't have any.
Yeah, and sometimes when they have that one, they've got like, it's like burnt a little.
Yes.
And it's like, no thanks.
I don't want to eat a brown croissant.
Before we go, though,
Yes.
I'd like to shout out some of our fans, you know? Who
Okay.
sent us some cool messages or chatted to us on Twitter. You know, they tweeted, you know, Mr. Paul Berriman, I think that's your name. Yeah,
Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know, Berryman or Berriman or
Berryman.
or Barry Manilow, maybe. I don't know.
Barry
Paul,
Manilow.
Yeah, Paul Barry Manilow. Paul Berryman. He said, a hilarious podcast from one of my favourite childhood shows.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. That was good. And also want to shout out Hayden Redding.
Yes.
Right? He sent us a message on Facebook a couple of weeks ago. He was like, I love the podcast. Anyway, you know, no matter what, as I love Round the Twist, and you guys rock. So cheers.
Thanks,
mate. You're the reason why we keep doing. You guys are the reason we keep doing this, because that was a shit episode. That was just bad episode. Go to your room.
Yes.
Bad. Don't like you anymore.
Yes.
You've lost favour with me.
If you would like to contact us, you can do it on Facebook.
On the book face.
On Twitter at TFT Twists.
Yep.
On Instagram.
No Instagrams yet.
Are we on the Instagram?
We're not on the Instagram.
Where else can they contact us?
They can contact us on the Facebook, which tells them the twists.
Yes.
You can go to our WordPress website because we're too lazy to upgrade to the full domain. Whatever.
Yes.
Who cares? And you can find us obviously on iTunes. So, you know, subscribe there on iTunes. And we're looking on Stitcher now. We're
We're-
on Stitcher, whatever
we're
that
on
is.
Stitcher now.
Apparently.
We did it.
Yeah,
We-
well, I
we
was
made
like, hey,
it.
I submitted something, and they were like, hey, do you have anything else to add that might help you get on there? And I said, yeah, I'm really awesome, and this guy I'm with, he's okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
what'd they say?
I said, yeah,
Good
that
job.
we're in. Yeah, that you're in. But that guy, we're going to have to replace him.
Ah.
They said, I'd have to get rid of that guy. And I said, well,
This is
come
my
to the show.
podcast.
Come to the show, you know. No.
Yeah, so on any of our platforms, basically, it's Tales from the Twists,
With the
except
S
for
at the
Twitter,
end.
which is TFT Twists.
Because, characters are important on Twitter. Come on, guys.
if you want to contact us, you can do that on any of those, and we'll probably read out your stuff. If you have any questions,
I'd love
ask
to do
us
that.
some
And
questions.
even if you don't want to be like, hey, if you
What's
want me to
going
say
on?
anything, just write it in and be like, hey, man.
If
how's
you
it
have
going?
something rude that you want Anthony to
I'll say it.
he'll probably definitely read it out, and then
Probably.
I'll probably definitely edit it out.
Well, yeah,
So you
know.
have that.
Yeah, you have that option. I'll be like, hey, yeah, I'll say that on Joe, and then Joe will be like, I'm not saying that on my podcast. Not saying that on my podcast. Like he's
have an argument every
he's
week.
like the Hitler of
No.
censorship.
I'm not. I'm just a normal guy, and I don't want to get hatred.
That's
My
right.
name is Joe Lewis.
And I'm Anthony Bull.
Thank you very much for listening, and stay twisty.